The current commander-in-chief's legal dilemma over classified documents. What we're learning overnight, coming up in 5 minutes.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders lined up to be sworn into office today as our state's next governor. A preview of today's events.
COVID cases are on the rise, and a new subvariant could soon become the dominant strain here in Arkansas, the region where it's already causing problems.
A sky-high Mega Millions jackpot may have you seeing dollar signs, but it's also the case for scammers. At 6:15, what to be aware of with tonight's big drawing.
Now, Wake Up Central with Karen Fuller, Hayden Balgavy, and meteorologist Scott Covert.
It is 6 a.m. and thank you for watching Wake Up Central. These guys are talking about cereal.
We're talking
preferences.
cereal. I hope you're
really
enjoying your cereal.
Intense conversations go on during commercial breaks, folks.
Oh, yes.
It almost came to blows when we're discussing Fruity Pebbles or Frosted Flakes.
Right.
What's your favorite? Now, let me say this. No disagreement about the forecast.
We all can agree that this is some really nice weather. Snow lovers, they hate this weather. And
True. Thank you for remembering
just deal with it, because I don't care. I love it. Here's a live look outside our view 11. Looking off towards the north and east, we are clear out there. There's some patchy fog developing. 41, that's the current temperature in Little Rock. It's 36 in Conway, 44 right now in Pine Bluff. Searcy a little bit cooler, sitting 1 degree above that freezing mark at 33. 60, that's where we're headed this afternoon. It'll be very comfortable out there. We'll enjoy a partly sunny sky with just a light breeze out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. We're even warmer tomorrow. If you can believe it, will be in the 70s, but then late tomorrow night, we'll see a cold front move through, and of course it brings rain and some thunderstorms, and then cooler temperatures to close out the work week. The roller coaster, though, it continues, because just as quickly as we cool down, we're going to warm back up heading into the weekend. Details on how warm it's going to get coming right up.
Inauguration events for Governor-elect Sarah Huckabee Sanders getting underway last night. That was former Governor Mike Huckabee introducing his daughter at a pre-inauguration dinner party. Now, things are going to ramp up in just a few hours. History will be made as Sarah Huckabee Sanders is sworn in as the 47th governor of Arkansas.
And becomes the first female governor in Arkansas and also the youngest governor in the nation at the age of 40. Wake Up Central's Journey Taylor here with details on her big day. Good morning, Journey.
Good morning, Karen and Hayden. Governor-elect Sarah Huckabee Sanders acknowledges she will make history. However, she has also made it quite clear that history will be made about the things she and her administration will be able to deliver to the people of Arkansas. She plans to focus on public safety, taxes, building Arkansas's outdoor economy, but especially education.
I've made no secret that education reform is my #1 priority going into this session, and I'm hopeful that people who maybe haven't always supported me can support the ideas and the policies that are going to help lift every Arkansan up and that are going to benefit every person in the state.
She has already mapped out an ambitious 100 days, but before she can get to that, she has a full day of events. On day one, the governor-elect and her family will begin the day with a prayer and worship service at 9 a.m. Then she'll deliver her inaugural address after taking the oath of office on the steps of the Capitol at noon. She'll also host the inaugural ball at the State House Convention Center later tonight at 6. A big day of hosting, but she says her priorities are in line. Coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll also talk about the prospects of lawmakers working with the new governor's agenda. For now, I'm Journey Taylor for Wake Up Central.
Journey, thank you. And you can see the swearing in and Sanders' first speech as governor right here on THV 11 and THV 11 Plus, our free streaming channel. Our coverage begins on THV 11 News at noon.
Then throughout the day, keep up with all the latest events on THV 11 Plus. It is free to download on Roku or Amazon Fire devices, or you can watch it live on THV11.com. And in about 40 minutes, you'll hear from the governor-elect about her goals for her very ambitious first 100 days.
In an interview, she spells out her 4 main priorities for the legislative session. And in several cases, she has already begun the process. That special report coming up at 6:45 right here on Wake Up Central.
Developing this morning, a legal headache for President Biden after documents marked classified were found at a think tank linked to his vice presidency, sources tell CBS News.
Jared Hill reports the Justice Department is now taking a look at the documents to determine any possible next steps.
Roughly 10 documents marked classified were found at the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement in this Washington, D.C. building. A source familiar says they contained no nuclear secrets. The Attorney General has assigned John Lausch, a Trump appointee and the U.S. Attorney in Chicago, to review the documents, which were from President Biden's years as vice president, according to two sources with knowledge of the inquiry.
What DOJ will look at is how did the documents get there? Was it intentional? Is this a case that deserves to be prosecuted?
The president's special counsel said the material was identified by Mr. Biden's personal attorneys while they were packing files housed in a locked closet to prepare to vacate the office space on November 2nd. He adds that the White House counsel's office notified the National Archives the same day the material was discovered and that the archives took possession of them the following day.
Very concerning.
Several Republicans have compared the situation to the FBI's search on former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago, Florida home, during which hundreds of materials with classification markings were seized. Trump even posted on his Truth Social platform, quote, "When is the FBI going to raid the many homes of Joe Biden, perhaps even the White House?" These documents were definitely not declassified.
This one set of rules for President Trump. He literally raided his home 91 days before the midterm election. Different standard, it seems, with President Biden.
The FBI is also involved in the preliminary inquiry into the Biden documents, which a source says is nearing its conclusion. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
As of this morning, neither the Justice Department nor the FBI are commenting on the Biden documents inquiry.
The Justice Department appointed a special counsel to oversee its investigations into former President Donald Trump, including his handling of classified materials. Breaking news overnight, a late night shooting in Pine Bluff leaves a man dead this morning. Pine Bluff police responded to a call on Port Road near Bird Street where they found a man dead from a gunshot wound. Now, the victim has been identified as 39-year-old Harold Withers of Pine Bluff. Officials are currently investigating and asking anyone with any information to give them a call. Meanwhile, a 19-year-old is in jail this morning following an arrest by Little Rock police. Derek Jackson is now facing capital murder charges regarding last week's DePriest Road homicide after turning himself in to detectives. Now, we still don't have a lot of information surrounding the shooting, but we do know the victim was a minor and they died at the hospital.
Developing now, the police force in the Saline County town of Haskell appears to be in shambles.
Now, most of the patrol officers walked out of a city meeting, resigning last night. Wake Up Central's Michaelan Johnson joins us now with everything that went down. Michaelan?
Hayden, Karen, there's a lot to cover with this situation, but the most important is that we tell you the story is developing. That means details can change as we learn more. Now, as of this morning, all but 3 members of the Haskell Police Department have resigned. 6 officers walked out of a meeting and surrendered their weapons to the chief Monday night. This decision comes after a contentious city council meeting over a grant funding fight with the mayor of Haskell. Some of the officers' demands include better pay, new life-saving equipment, new vehicles, and opening up new positions to allow for more backup. The officers that spoke up and later walked out of that meeting say they've expressed their concerns to the chief many times, but were told nothing would change.
A lot of the issues are known to the administration and the police department and have been spoken about, especially the pay. Also, they make the schedule. They're aware that we're out here 1 officer at a time. They're aware of the state of the vehicles and the lack of equipment and things like that.
I wish the citizens would speak out and let the city council know that, their officers need help.
Saline County and Arkansas State Police are both prepared to cover calls as needed until these positions get filled in Haskell. Now, this walkout comes only 9 days into the mayor's administration, so coming up at 6:30, I'll show you what the walkout looked like at Monday night's meeting and what the mayor has to say about the officers' demands. Michaelan Johnson for Wake Up Central.
We will certainly keep an eye on it. Thank you, Michaelan. Now, before the holidays, we told you about flu cases spiking, but now, as we get further into the new year, some experts say there is a shift. According to the Arkansas Department of Health, flu is decreasing, but COVID is increasing. Dr. Joel Tumlison says hospitals are seeing it as well. Now, he also tells us the new subvariant XBB 1.5 has something to do with the increase because it's more infectious. And even though it's not currently the predominant strain here in Arkansas, he says it likely will be in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
It currently is in the northeast of the United States, which seems to be where it started.
Now, he says last week COVID hospitalizations in Arkansas were around the 400s, which for context is about at the same level it was during that summer surge of the Omicron BA.5 surge. All right, let's go over to Scott now on that one thing we need to know about the weather today.
Hey, it's going to be a really comfortable day. Temperatures this morning, not too bad. We're largely in the 40s. And then later today, we're climbing into the 60s under a partly sunny sky. Pretty decent weather for this time of year. It gets even warmer tomorrow. And then we'll have a cold front move through. It brings rain, it brings thunderstorms, cooler temperatures, and the roller coaster continues. Then we warm things back up into the 60s. I'll break it all down for you. Coming right up.
Also just ahead, as the drawing for Mega Millions is getting closer and closer, in 4 minutes we'll tell you why you will need to be aware of those scammers.
Also ahead on Wake Up Central, thousands of nurses are off the job right now. Find out where and why. It's minutes away in your morning wake-up call. But first, let's take a look at traffic with meteorologist Scott Covert.
You know, Karen, we are accident-free this morning. No major issues on those roadways or highways. There have been some areas of patchy fog develop. One of those here on 630 near downtown Little Rock. You can see that haze on the screen. So it's not too problematic for us, not finding any slowdowns related to it. You on your morning drive may encounter some of that, which could add a few minutes to your drive. Other than that, we're in fine shape. Let's take a look outside from our view 11 this morning. I-30 moving smoothly there from North Little Rock into downtown Little Rock. Right now, it is just almost 6:12 on the dot. We're off to a fast 3-minute break, but we'll be right back.